Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy J-Rock. Today I'm gonna be coming at you with a review of Ultimate Spider-Man Vol.1. This covers issues 1 through 6. It's written by a creative team of Brian Michael Bendis, artwork by Mark Bagley, inks by Art Tibbert, and colorist you have Color Graphics Inc. Corporation. So it's a lot of digital coloring and so forth. Now, if you have any interest in Spider-Man and you want to know where to start, this is where you start. Volume 1, start with Ultimate Spider-Man. It basically gives you a retelling, like a more modern retelling of the original story, how Peter Parker became Spider-Man. Where more modern art, it's a real nice art. It really goes with the story they're telling. It sets the tone and the mood, and it really fits well with this dialogue and story that's going on. Osborn, he's playing and experimenting with the spider, the infamous radioactive spider. And that's where the story starts, guys. Great panel, great opening scene. And it's a bunch of, Peter Parker in the food courts and typical high school stuff. They're having food fights and clowning around and so forth. And you really get the feel that Peter Parker's like an outcast, kind of a dweeb, if you will. He's just this computer nerd and science, and he's Mr. Smart Guy, which in high school, that tends to be the guy that's not gonna fit in. And you have the jocks and the basketball players and so forth, messing around with them right there and messing around with everybody else in the food court, basically. Now, all the kids in school are set up to go to a field trip to Oscorps, where they do all these science experiments and so forth, because these guys all are trying to be scientists and they have this science class and they want to learn more shit about this. So what better place than the biggest corporation out here? And bam, that's where the incident happens. We all know what it is. He gets bit by the spider. Now, I really like how here with this digital coloring, you see in this panel when he gets bit, you really get that sense of he's feeling woozy. Things are looking blurry. The colors are fading out. And it has a whole different feel than the black smoke in the front. Then you see the colors in the back with the characters in the background. It really gives you this feel that he's like coming in and out of consciousness, which I'm really digging. I'm loving that shit. It's so good, the wonders they can do with it. So now, the kid gets bit on a school field trip. So us corporations are wigging out like, oh shit, do we have a lawsuit in our hands? What's this kid's parents gonna think of us? So they say, you know what, offer that we'll pay for their hospital bills and maybe they'll just, they'll ease off. So they go home and they send them a letter saying we'll pay for this and so forth, right? No harm done. So now Norman Osborn's like really paranoid, like what's going on with this? Keep an eye on them, follow them around. Are they gonna sue us? Did that spider we're experimenting on? What side effects does it have? Is it working? Is our invention working? Is it not? So they follow Peter Parker around, and they start seeing his changes. He's getting faster. He's getting stronger. Dun dun dun. He's all of a sudden, it's all good. It's all gravy. He's having the time of his life now. Now he could run fast. He's athletic. He's popular. Leader of the basketball team, and so forth. And Osborn seeing all these wonders that this miracle drug, if you will, the radioactive spider did. So he's like, wow. He starts getting jealous. I want that. I want to be like that. And you really get to see it's kind of a play on a coming of age story, if you will. He's Peter Parker, he's growing up, like if he's coming through puberty, now he's becoming a man and he's getting popular, he's getting stronger, he's getting more responsibilities, he's growing up. It's basically that's what it is. And you see him having more responsibilities, like he's getting older now, he's expected to get a job and stuff like that. Okay, so Norman Osborn was like, really getting jealous about Peter Parker's newfound powers. Instead of calling the cops on him or whatever, letting them know what's going on, he doesn't want to say anything. What he wants to do instead is duplicate this. Try to make another miracle drug. Let's see if we could do this again with another spider. So he's trying to find out a way to do this because he wants to have just as much power and athleticism and all that good stuff, So here you see him, he's shooting up, kind of like a steroid metaphor. You see him here, they're pumping him full of these drugs, trying to give him these powers. And his son walks in. And he's like, hey, Dad, what's going on? The dad says, oh, for God's sakes, who let my son in here? Get him out of here. shows you know what kind of father he is. He's really into himself, and his son is just kind of in the way, being a nuisance. He's more into his job and his corporation than his family life. So he's caught red-handed there doing some weird experiments. Now things go horribly wrong, but you know Norman Osborn, he's the boss, and you don't question the boss. You know, we all know that's a quick way to get fired, right? So we have to do as he says, and you know, shit goes all bad, things go all wrong, and here you see him really bulk up and go out of control, and now mayhem breaks loose, and all kinds of crazy shit's gonna happen from here. Now the story really starts going, it really starts rolling. So I'm not gonna ruin what starts happening now, because now we're getting to the important stuff. But yeah, this story does a real good job of developing the characters. Like I said, Norman Osborn. You really get a sense to see how he is, like what kind of person he is. You know, like a typical rich tycoon type of player in this story. Like in typical stories that when you get the rich guy with power. And yeah, it's some good stuff. Now what happens after you get the story going? It's a decent story, but really the main star of this is you get to know who Peter Parker is, how he became Spider-Man, and you get to know the type of person Norman Osborn is. Clearly, one's just a teenager trying to find his way, trying to find his identity, who he is, and the other is clearly the villain in the story, the asshole that's already set in his ways, and that's not gonna change. So there you have it, guys. If you read this before, what do you guys think about it? I think if you haven't read Spider-Man, you want to start, this is definitely the place to start. Did you guys enjoy it? And if you did, feel free to post comments on the bottom what it is you enjoyed about the story and what it is you didn't. And would you recommend following up with a second volume? Me personally, I'm gonna give this story 8.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. It's a little dialogue heavy because to get to know these characters, they have to speak a lot, so you could kind of get to know their style, how they carry themselves, how they talk, and so forth. Which typical with any Bendis story, he does that a lot to give each character their own personality, if you will, and to show each character's personality has to be through their dialogue. So yeah, no character feels the same like another character. They each got their own individual thing going on. Okay, so that's all I got for you today. If you enjoyed hearing this, hit that like button. You want to watch more of the same, hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for more. I'll follow it up with the second volume down the road. And also hit that share button. That helps. You hit that share button, share it on your social media. Hit that Facebook, that Twitter, to really pass the video along, get other people to watch it. And I always enjoy the feedback, what it is you liked or didn't like about the story or the video itself, because you learn from criticism or from positive feedback. Either way, you learn from it. You see what people like and didn't like. That's always good. And all right, guys, I'll check you guys out next time.